In our last screencast, I showed you how to add objects to your world. Now let's add some code to these objects so that they change the way they act a little bit. So in our game, the crab is going to move automatically. The person playing the game is going to steer the crab trying to eat the worms. The lobster is also going to move automatically and try and just go back and forth, and if the lobster accidentally hits the crab, he's going to eat him. So the first thing we need to do is we need to work on making our crab move. To do that, we need to alter the code in the crab class. So I'm going to double click on that. And you can see that Greenfoot made a little bit of code for us. It says public class crab, extends actor, and then we have an act method. So the act method is whatever the crab does all the time. And so what we want is we want the crab to move all the time. Greenfoot has a built-in method called move. So we could type in move. And then a parameter for move is how fast it's going to move. So we're going to write move, and then in parentheses, we're going to put its speed. So it's going to move 3 pixels every time the act method runs. And the act method runs continuously. So if I compile this, and I come back to my world, and I run the world, my crab is going to move 3 to the right. So if I click run, my crab moves 3 to the right. He's going to end up at the end of the world and get stuck there because Greenfoot objects aren't allowed to go outside the world. And if I came back to the crab method here and I put move -3 and I compile it, the crab is actually going to move to the left 3. So if I run it, my crab moves to the left 3. So that's how we can make the crab move. So we'll make the crab move to the right. And then we need to make it steer. So we're going to use an if statement for that. So in our act method, I'm going to write if, and then I know that Greenfoot has a built-in method called isKeyDown that checks to see if I'm pressing a key on the keyboard. In parentheses, I'm going to type right. That's the key I'm using, the right arrow key. Close that parenthesis because they work in pairs. Close this parenthesis because they work in pairs. And now the second line of the if statement, I'm going to write turn, and then in parentheses, I'm going to write like 4 or 5. That's how many degrees the crab will turn when I press right. So now he'll move all the time, and if I press right, he'll turn 4. If I compile this, come out to my world, and press compile out here, and press run, my crab will move. And when I press right, he'll turn 4. Now I can make him turn a lot by holding down the right key, or just a little bit by tapping it. But that's how we can make the crab move around the screen. Now, I'm not going to show you all the code that you need, but your game would be kind of boring if the crab could only turn to the right. So add in code to make your crab turn to the left. Again, the turn method works kind of like the move method. He'll turn clockwise if it's a positive number, and it'll turn counterclockwise if it's a negative number. If you do the turning right, you won't ever need the crab to move anything but 3. The other thing you should add right now is that your lobster also needs to move. So to make your lobster move, you want to add code to your act method for the lobster. That's how you can make objects in Greenfoot move.